Hey everybody, Alex Kazora, SteelersDepot.com, back with some more Pittsburgh Steelers tape breakdown and analysis. Want to do a deep dive into the Pittsburgh Steelers defense from their 28-14 wildcard loss to the Baltimore Ravens. Losses in any method and fashion in the postseason are difficult, and I know Pittsburgh certainly was the underdog in this game, and rightfully so, but I just think they got embarrassed against an AFC North rival in their place in a playoff game, just really below the standard, not just in the overall outcome, but the way in which Pittsburgh played. Bunch of clips to show that. Let's talk about it. If you guys could like this video, subscribe to the channel, and check out the site, SteelersDepot.com, would really appreciate that. So this will be a variety of clips of some scheme, run game, pass game, and then Pittsburgh just not being physical enough. Taking a look here, read option, Baltimore dominated. Pittsburgh had no good answer for it. I know some of their intent was for Pittsburgh about keying in on the running back, and I understood that, taking away, minimizing Derrick Henry, but not a good plan for Lamar. Third and short situation, the Ravens opening possession. You got Minkah Fitzpatrick appears to be responsible for the keep here as you get Highsmith crashing down on the back. Again, I know some of that is designed, where just in the way where times in the past for Pittsburgh's mesh charging the quarterback, but this is just tough spot to be in for Minkah. He gets juked out and the Ravens convert, and that really started to set the tone of the day. It's also Justice Hill in the game. Derrick Henry in the game, pay more attention to him. It's a situation where, who's the bigger threat in this moment, Jackson or Hill? Not sure why they didn't adjust more. Pittsburgh didn't to account for Jackson more in these moments rather than Hill. Just too much overlap here in situations where, okay, TJ Watt is taking the back and Justice Hill, he's crashing down. Okay, fine, I get that, but you have Peyton Wilson doing the same. Nobody accounting for the keep component of Lamar Jackson here at the mesh point, and Jackson's able to keep it himself and pick up positive yards. So there's a lot of ways to attack zone read. There is the mesh charge. There's slanting and scraping. You can really try to stack the box. I mean, there's a couple different things you can do. Pittsburgh did some of that in this game, but just overall, quarterback running free, Lamar Jackson MVP candidate. And again, Justice Hill in the game. If it's Derrick Henry, it's one thing about the concentration on him, but with Hill in the game, I didn't see any adjustments to then kind of shift focus towards minimizing Lamar Jackson. Read options can be tough to defend. It's a staple of the Ravens' run game, and especially in some of those critical moments, and it's designed to make you wrong, but Pittsburgh just not having good answers, too much overlap, not fitting it well, and really paying the price. A little different example here, and you want to watch Patrick Queen number 6, and I'm always careful in calling out effort and lack of an attempt, because those are, to me, really weighty and dangerous charges. And you do find out after the game Patrick Queen apparently had the flu really bad, required a bunch of IVs, and so I think that maybe at least provides some explanation. But it's still, you look at some of these snaps and some of the tape out here, and it's really, really difficult to excuse it and just wave your hand and say, yeah, guy is sick, and we're getting reps like this out here. I really couldn't even tell you what Patrick Queen is thinking here. Not keying the ball. He's out of his gap. You see the lane here for Derrick Henry. Minkah missing the tackle. Nice job here by Elliott to stop the bleeding. But as we'll see throughout this video, so many instances of Derrick Henry not even contacted within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. I mean, just to look at the aerial view, I can show it pretty well. Balls at the 41.5 yard line. When does Henry actually get contacted for the first time? It's about, on Minkah's missed tackle, it's about the 50. So it's 9 yards before contact, before Elliott finally gets him down at Pittsburgh's 45. So this kind of stuff happened consistently throughout the game. It's how Baltimore ran for 299. You knew they were going to have some measure of success running the football, but 299 is not acceptable, obviously. I don't care the circumstance. And Pittsburgh was healthy. It's not even like they had a bunch of injuries, which wouldn't have been an excuse anyway for a playoff game, but they were healthy. Again, I know Queen apparently had the flu. Look at these reps. You just sit there and say, this is uncompetitive football. Baltimore with a wildcat wrinkle, got Likely and Henry in the backfield. Lamar being motioned in. Nice eye candy. Pittsburgh out of gap, out of position, can't key the football. Guys can't get off the blocks of the front side. Minkah's getting stiff-armed by Derrick Henry. Turns into an explosive run for Baltimore. So, you got eyes going this way. You got Highsmith. I know there's, lane integrity and responsibility. Highsmith has the edge here. You got Stanley able to leverage Hayward here, but just no one's off of a block. Everyone is stuck. No one can make a play. Dante Jackson doesn't get off the block. And then Mink out there in space, just getting thrown to the ground by Derrick Henry. Take a look at it from the other end zone view. Nobody off a block, a huge lane, huge runway for Henry. And once that train is rolling, it is a dangerous man. Huge run for Baltimore. Another example of Henry just being untouched for far too many yards. And they really fed off of that. And that really got their offense going, that momentum rolling, and the crowd certainly into it in Baltimore. And it's really well blocked by the Ravens. But Henry just not being touched, not being contested or slowed down here at all. Again, talk about where's the line of scrimmage, where is he touched? Ball's at the 26. The first actual contact is really at the 33, so 7 yards before Henry's even, someone's really laid a hand on him, and you just can't have that kind of stuff. That's not acceptable. You're not winning up front. You're getting, knocked off the ball. You're not getting off of blocks. Pittsburgh's trying to one gap and slant here, and this is kind of more of an angle. The Ravens really effectively washing and down blocking well. But still, bottom line is you're just not playing competitive downhill football against a team that you had to do that to beat. Again, I'm careful to make quick accusations about effort and guys trying or not trying out there on the football field, but just watching this play, you can't help but have that thought in your head. Read option, it is actually defended pretty well initially. Peyton Wilson scraping over the top, but just watching Larry Ogunjobi here, just not helping. Just kind of watching the play go by. Two-hand touch on Lamar as Peyton Wilson's trying to wrestle and wrangle Lamar to the ground. And then Cam eventually comes in to tries to clean it up. But I don't know. Someone can tell me if I'm wrong. And there's some explanation here. Maybe there's something going on that I'm just missing or just not aware of. But, watching Ogunjobi here, Wilson trying to wrap him up. Maybe he's trying to be super careful about hitting Lamar and getting a flag. If I was at my most charitable, but you're just seeing Larry Ogunjobi let him, basically go on by, and they just can't play that way. Little different example in lens here. Pittsburgh's pass rush is not getting home. No one can beat a block. Lamar's able to scramble, break a tackle, and take off here for a good gain. Interior rush, not getting home. Nobody's getting home. No one's making a play. No one's getting off a block, and that was a real issue in this game. Pittsburgh just could not beat the blocks. No interior rush. Watt's getting locked up by a rookie off the initial chip here, and then Lamar able to scramble, escape, break that tackle from Cam Hayward, and it's a big gain. And even the rally at the end, it's, I know Mink is not trying to over pursue here. I mean, there is some chase, but even then, it's not great. So just a really poor play all around. Similar to the very first play that we looked at, and you just wonder how Minkah Fitzpatrick ends up being responsible from this post-safety spot for Lamar Jackson on the keep. I get TJ Watt crashing down here, but no one's scraping over the top. Not sure what the run fits are here. I think Baltimore doing a nice job with this 3x1 at the top to really force some people, some bodies over there, really take them out of the run fit. You're really defending now with just 8 defensively with these 3 preoccupied. Got Likely running off to Sean Elliott to take him out of the equation as well. So it is Pittsburgh really being out-schemed, but just getting put in a big bind here. And Baltimore consistently one step ahead, and Lamar utilizing his legs and the zone read, a real weapon that Pittsburgh had no consistent answer for. Look at the Derrick Henry touchdown, and you just see Pittsburgh getting worked over at the line of scrimmage. Keanu Benton, he gets washed. He gets knocked off his feet. The pile moves forward. Derrick Henry barrels his way into the end zone. And just Baltimore, the more physical team, the more dominant team, the more intense team, and the team that played, I thought, harder with more passion. And that just kind of is obvious as we go through all these clips, as difficult and as certainly not fun as it is to watch these ones. You just watch Pittsburgh really get beat up in the trenches. I just think Pittsburgh, over this losing streak, overall, as a blanket statement, they just were not a physical enough team. They were not good enough in the trenches. The run game offensively didn't work. The run defense had a lot of leaks, and Pittsburgh just really looked out of it in this game. Again, you watch the push that Baltimore gets and the body blows that their O-line consistently delivered to Pittsburgh. You just have this hole for Henry. I mean, again, you count how many yards is he getting before contact, balls around the 13-yard line, and it's maybe less significant than before. It gets maybe to the 15, 16, but you just see, Baltimore winning off the line of scrimmage, and you just don't see any resistance here from Pittsburgh, no penetration. You have guys that giving ground, and you really just felt Baltimore taking it too, and they had leverage, they had push, they had the leg drive, and you get results. This was not the most significant play, but you get results like 299 rushing because of plays like this. 3rd and 2 for Baltimore, using a bit of tempo here. Pittsburgh playing zone. Lamar escapes, is able to find Aguilar over the middle, all by his lonesome, and at the end, you just don't love the effort here across the board. It is a fine tackle by Joey Porter Jr., but just to rally around. No one trying to race in case Porter can't make the tackle, or let's say the ball comes out, or somebody trying to run in to punch the ball out late, make a big play. It's a lot of jogging, a lot of staring, a lot of you go make the tackle instead. Minka, Queen. I don't know. It just... You look at these plays, you say that's not how the Steelers play football. It's how no defense in the postseason should play football. The game's not over at this point. It's not a good situation for Pittsburgh. Let's see what the score was here. If I can find it. 14-0. End of the first half. You're trying to get a big first half stop, and they ended up obviously not doing that. Baltimore scores. We'll see that here in just a moment. But, giving up the conversion on 3rd and 2 is bad enough, but you just look at kind of the effort, the tape here. I'm just seeing a lot of jogging out there from Pittsburgh, and that's concerning. Another example of the pass rush, just simply not getting home. 5-man pressure here. They're just not touching Lamar. The edge guys have some success, but no interior push. Lamar's able to step up, hitch, find Mark Andrews over the middle, wide open. Big conversion here in this 2-minute drill. The Baltimore's ultimately successful converting. Just not getting the push at all. You see this interior pocket, even with some edge pressure here. Lamar safe, clean air to jump up into. It's an easy throw from the pocket to a wide open. It is just pitch and catch at this point. And, I'm not even entirely sure how Andrews got that open. Who's responsible? Pittsburgh's in man. Looks like Peyton has the back. That would maybe put Dante Jackson on Andrews. They take the back. There's no communication here. It's a huge gain for Andrews, and he gets out of bounds. Right after that, Cam Sutton in the slot here to the bottom, and you just watch him not having a good time against Isaiah Likely, a man twice his size. Sutton didn't play well in this game the entire season, should not return, obviously, but I think Pittsburgh in these Ravens games had some tough matchups. You got a lot of nickel corners out there on tight ends. This happened in the first game as well, and you're going to get outcomes like that where Sutton gets his head dribbled off the grass there. Another big gain, and Baltimore just rolling in this 2-minute drill. Pittsburgh needed to stop. Baltimore getting ball at half. They don't get a stop. This one really bothered me. 2nd and 20. Pittsburgh had just scored. It's 21-7 Ravens. Alex Highsmith had just sacked Lamar Jackson, so you got a chance to really get off the field here, get some good field position, and hey, you never know what could happen from there. And Baltimore gets it all back on one play. A little dash concept from the Ravens. Lamar dropping back and then rolling to his right, finding Tylan Wallace open along the sideline. And again, you're just not seeing intensity. You're not seeing guys really chase and run hard to the football and look for the punch out and try to make a hard tackle. It's Minka just kind of holding up Wallace, Dante Jackson just sort of watching. Deshaun Elliott, half-hearted effort here, I would say. And he's probably got more of that sideline flat responsibility to give up the completion in the first place. Everyone just standing around watching Wallace get 21 yards on 2nd and 20. They move the sticks, and at that point, even though it's only a glimmer of hope, to me it felt like the Pittsburgh was really just not up for this game. I mean, it was obvious probably before this, but this play really cemented it. Even Cam Hayward just getting knocked over by 77 there. I mean, it's just really, really poor showing. Then the second touchdown by Henry, the long run of 44 yards, I believe. Another read option. This time they do take Lamar, but 3 guys take Lamar, and Roberts and Elliott and Minka Fitzpatrick. And you end up getting Henry splitting the defense, running right up the middle, and that's your dagger right there. So Pittsburgh just really no plan. They were not able to get on the same page in how they wanted to sort out and distribute and defend the read option. Times where Lamar, was free to keep the ball and had runways. And one moment where they finally do pay some attention to it, just it's a give to Henry, and no one's off of a block. But at this point, you got three guys again. You're defending with 8 at this point, really probably less with some corners on the outside, and you give Henry these kind of runways, man. It's game over. And then late in the game, trying to play for some pride, and Pittsburgh still not displaying good tape. You're seeing again, yards before contact, line of scrimmage is at the, call it the 17, and where does Henry actually get touched for the first time? Not even tackled, but just literally somebody touching his jersey. It's about the 23-yard line, so 6 yards before he's even touched, and this is one of the best backs in football, having a historically good year where he gets runways and you are in big-time trouble, and so you're getting Ogunjobi washed, you're getting guys, again, that just cannot get off a block, cannot beat a block, cannot make a play, cannot get penetration. And it's just really, really bad tape here across the board. I mean, obviously, I know sometimes that can be tough on these zone schemes about getting washed down, but Ogunjobi washed down, Queen stuck, and Henry's just got lanes and just downhill, full head of speed. And this is not how Pittsburgh, they've lost games, and that's one thing. It sucks, but do I think just get completely bodied, and for this run defense to look so poor again with good health? I mean, everyone was healthy for this game, at least in terms of them playing and dressing, and these are the results, is a real something they have to reckon with. Even late in the game, as Pittsburgh tried all the stops to get some sort of run defense, they're literally in their goal line package here, no corners on the field, 40 linemen, 3 safeties. That's when Killebrew comes in the game, is almost all. I mean, it's just for goal line, but they're using it here in open grass to try to get some sort of stop, and they still can't. Toss game effective here. Again, guys stuck on blocks. Herbert can't get off of his block. Just nobody winning their blocks. Everyone, pushed around. Ogunjobi dominated by Rosengarten here. Another gain for Henry. Even Justice Hill, very late in the game, once they took Henry out and said, okay, we're good. We're just going to coast here. And you're seeing Baltimore just win at the point of attack. D-line blown off the ball. Loudermilk's off of his feet. Ogunjobi can't beat his block. Adams trying to swim over. And this is Justice Hill. Ogunjobi can't even tackle Justice Hill, who spins off, falls forward, gets additional yardage. So, I mean, just that kind of game where there's runways consistently. Baltimore got the push off the line of scrimmage. They play with pad level. They play with intensity. And they just simply were the more physical team by far. Finally, one last example where they did bring Henry back into the game, and it is just more of the same. I mean, it is not anything that you have to search far and wide to see what is going on here. You're just watching Baltimore win off the line of scrimmage, dominate at the point of attack. Pittsburgh not getting off of blocks. They're not being physical, and they're just getting hammered on the entire game. Now, this game is completely over at this point, but still trying to play for some pride in Pittsburgh in this, goal line defense, and no one's beating the block. Henry's got this lane he can just run through, barrel ahead, and, that was just the story of the entire game. Not even like Pittsburgh came out strong and maybe they wilted a little bit late. I mean, it was just from the jump. Baltimore was just all over them and came out stronger, figuratively, literally, and that's reflected in the tape, the stats, and of course the outcome. So yeah, that's my review. I think it was a really embarrassing performance by Pittsburgh to be in the playoffs and try to turn your season around and avoid a 5-game slide and a chance to beat Baltimore in their place in the postseason, looking for your first postseason win since 2016. A lot of guys in here have not won in a while. And some of these guys obviously still played hard. I thought Elliott played hard. I thought Roberts played hard. I thought Cam played hard. But it's got to be a whole team effort to take on Baltimore. And it feels like Pittsburgh off the bus, waving the white flag. And that was evident early on. And you never know what's in a guy's head and what he's dealing with, injuries, other issues. I try to be cognizant of that and be careful when I talk about these things. But regardless, Just looking at the tape, Pittsburgh was not physical enough. They did not play their style of defense, and it really embodies the collapse of this team, this defense to me collapsing in this game. So, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Appreciate you guys watching. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and of course, check out the site SteelersDepot.com as we switch into off-season and draft mode. Still have more videos and end-season reviews, all those kinds of things we'll be looking at, and so still a ton more coming, but thank you again, and we'll talk to you soon.